You enjoying the show? Indeed, I did enjoy the show. That was the best Saturday night's main event we've had since they brought it back in on December 14th, 2024. Um, AJ Styles and Shinsuke definitely carried the show though. It's just what it is. The show was fantastic, man. And I loved how we got pyro. We've been getting pyro for a while now, but it's always refreshing to get pyro instead of people walking um, like they're going through TSA. It's always the stars who walk through like this, um, with the fake prop cup of fake empty coffee, and then they introduce like, yes, Rhea Ripley is facing so and so tonight. Cody Rhodes is, and they just pre-tape this stuff like a few hours before the show starts, and then they have the fake, and then they have the luggage like they're going through. That does not get anyone hyped. What gets people hyped is show intros and pyros. But since we don't have show intros since like 2000, we've had a show intro consistently since 20 definitely 2017 when they had Raw as listen up, there's not a moment to spare, it's quite a drop from the top, so how are you feeling down there? What do you think it can go? Because everyone already knows it's 20 to 1, next to you better run. That was the last show intro we've had on a consistent basis. But anyways, the show started off with Jacob Fatu, and he was street YNing as usual, even though that he's got 7 kids, so I wouldn't consider him a YN. Real blood, definitely a real blood Damu for sure. There we go. That's more of an accurate description. But I would have to say I don't like brawls. I don't like the pull apart. Superstar A, Superstar 1. We get Superstar A here, Superstar 1 here, and then they have a little brawl, and then security breaks them up, and security separates them, and then security, gets it, like, because Triple H has tired that out since like 2024 when every segment would end up in a pull apart brawl. Drew, Lyra, and it got repetitive, but this right here, when security was getting whipped up as well, it was really great. But Cody Rhodes, he entered, and then he had his it was like it was a different it was a different version of his WrestleMania 41 mask. Was it 41 or was it 40? Whichever one, he had the retractable Iron Man thing. And then he did his woe, but then Jacob attacked him as soon as he did his other woe. It was great. And then we got security, being mollywopped and tossed all over the place like a salad. And then, you know, they battle into concessions, and then, they have this spot where Cody is getting beat up in the back, and then Cody is getting sounded terrible, but I'll have to say it. Cody is getting beat up in the concessions, and then he proceeds to play human bowling. So he takes a blue garbage can or a recycle bin and then throws it at Jacob and the rest, and everyone falls down. And then Jacob hits Jacob hits one of the security guards with the uranagi. But then we go back to ringside, and then we see Cody Rhodes and Jacob on top of the thingamajigga, and towards the production table, Drew McIntyre, he takes both of them out. Not on a date though, but he takes one of them out, both of them out. He power bombs Cody, and then um, no contest. I mean, I wasn't expecting a conclusive winner, so that's not shocking. But then we go to um, Drew McIntyre backstage talking to Kathy Kelly. And then, he says some words, he's gripping his championship, and then he runs away. Yeah, that's about it, really. Nothing else happens from there. But then we get Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai versus Roxy and Liv Morgan. They have a match. They have a botch where Rhea Ripley fails to make the save for the Pop Rocks, and then we get people somehow on the internet saying, "Oh my gosh, Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan renewing their rivalry. I'm so happy." And I'm like, it overstayed its welcome the first time, and then Rhea Ripley ended up pinning Liv Morgan at War Games, and then they still had that rivalry go on for two other more months, and then Rhea Ripley finally defeated Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship on the Raw premiere of Netflix. That rivalry it was good, but then it got dragged. It was so annoying. I hated that rivalry, not because it was bad. It was perfect. Rhea Ripley turned on Liv get her redemption, but it just stayed around for way too long. So then we got Io Shirai hitting the moonsault onto Roxy, or I think it was Roxy. But what happened was it was botched, and I usually don't see Io botch any moonsault. Her moonsault's probably like, I have to say, like, so what she does is like she goes here and then she goes outward, so it ends up like that. But I think what happened was she overextended when it came to the send off, and then she over sent it, and then completely missed who she was hitting. So it kind of ended up being a bit botchy. But other than that, I mean, it still looked convincing. But then we got the ref going for the pin, and then Raquel Raquel's the real mommy. So Raquel pulls out. Uh, she man, but then Raquel, I think, pulls out. She pulls the referee out, I believe, and then we have Stephanie McCure with no walking boot, no indication that she's selling an injury or nothing. Just return, and then she chases Raquel away, and then Rio, to my Riho, the Japanese woman, the Japanese female wrestler. But yeah, Io and Rio end up winning. I didn't care about none of that because I knew we were getting AJ versus Shinsuke. AJ, man, that match carried. I think AJ versus Shinsuke. I mean, usually people, when they disagree, they'll say, "You're reaching, you're over exaggerating, you're glazing." And then they'll say, You're hating if they disagree, and then they'll say you're glazing, you're giving them too much credit if I do like something. So people's opinions are completely they're about as useful as a bag of pennies, a short Ziploc bag that you can get at Walmart. I think that AJ versus Shinsuke was probably the best match we've received in 2025 when it comes to WWE, and I stand on that. I stand on that. And then we got Shinsuke wrestling without a shirt. Now, I say this is refreshing because shirtless Shinsuke, when he's got just the red leather on, that's always been peak Shinsuke. Best match. I don't care. I don't care. I mean, of course, people have their different opinions, but when it gets to a point where you can't handle somebody else's opinion being different, and then you DM them saying hater, that's when it gets real. It's when it get a bit saucy. You're in your feelings over another man's opinion. But I would definitely have to say, in my opinion, how I feel, Shinsuke versus AJ Styles, best match of 2025 we received so far in WWE. Um, Shinsuke, he wore something similar to his WrestleMania 41. The hell, his WrestleMania, his WrestleMania 34. His attire from WrestleMania 34, and this match was so good that it reminded me of how buried and ruined Shinsuke has been since 2018. His push got halted like crazy when he dropped Cena on his neck, but he didn't get ruined until he turned heel. And then he had that Japanese rap song. Um, and then Triple H took over, and then he had the Great Muta Samurai gimmick, and then that was even worse. And he became U.S. champion, and then he went like 73 days without defending. Shinsuke has been ruined since WrestleMania 34, but this match right here, this was the match that they needed to have at WrestleMania 34, bro. I love, man, this match. I watched it like 5 times. This is the only match I really cared about. I didn't care about the main event. I didn't care about the women's match. I didn't care about Jacob and Cody as nearly as much as I cared about this match with AJ and Shinsuke. Um, and what's so cool is that Shinsuke he countered the calf crusher with an arm bar, and then everything was so cool about it, man. I love this match. I loved it, and then Shinsuke he reversed the Styles Clash with a scorpion kick. So then Shinsuke he saw that AJ was gonna go for the phenomenal forearm, and then he got AJ and Fireman's Carry did the landslide. I haven't seen Shinsuke hit the landslide in a while because he's always been jobbed out for the past 7 years. So man, it was great, man. He was dressed as a king of strong style, all red leather pants, not the bodysuit that he used to wear, but this Shinsuke, man, it was so cool to see. But then phenomenal forearm and Styles Clash to finish off Shinsuke. But that was so cool. And then they had the kneeling fist bump like they had in Japan, bro. The best match I've seen this year in WWE, hands down. But then we get Sammy, Tricky Dicky, Randy Orton, and Damian Priest. Damian, I swear, Damian Priest, like his theme song is so monotone. Like it has this slow, depressing, sleepy lullaby guitar. Do 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 do. I'm just like, and then it says, and then he says in the song, "All rise for the outlaw, all rise for the punishment." And I was just, and he says, "All rise." Like, the whole song is so monotone; it makes me so tired. But then we get one of my favorite spots in the match was Sammy hitting Randy Orton with a Blue Thunder Bomb. That was so cool to see. But what wasn't cool to see was Sammy win the match. But we get why. I mean, Saudi. I already knew it was gonna happen. But Sammy's a mid carder to me. He just is. He hasn't been a main eventer since 2023, 2024, when they stopped booking him in stories and just started booking him into everyone else's feuds. Um, I don't really care, but I'm gonna go with the match anyways because um, one of the cool things that I saw Trick do was a bookend onto the ringside barricade. It was the corner where they always overused the spear spot, and then Randy Orton hitting Trick and Damien with the DDT. But then we got Sammy winning the match when Randy Orton couldn't break up the pin when he was pinning Damien, and then Drew got, in the ring, and then bro, I swear, if they do, honestly, here's how I feel about it. Sami Zayn is a mid carder. I mean, sure, people say, well, he's a great wrestler. I mean, the thing is, he's boring. Sami Zayn has always been a great wrestler. Wrestling isn't the problem. So when I hear people say he's got good graps, almost everybody on the roster can have a wrestling match. People nowadays they'll take work rate over character and wonder why no one feels like a star. Just like the main roster, everybody feels the same. Everybody got the same entrance. Everybody got the same, and then they all, mutual handshake, heel versus heel, face versus face. So you wonder why no one can get over. Sami Zayn's the same exact way. He's had no character since he lost the Intercontinental Championship, and then you wonder why people aren't invested in Sammy winning the championship from Drew that he got screwed over so many times in 2022, and then he got completely ruined in 2025, Drew McIntyre. And then you expect people to want Sammy to go over on Drew. I mean, honestly, if it happens, let it happen. Let Drew lose to Sammy, get it out the way so you can get people's fix off, get their rocks off to Sammy winning the championship he's not really built for currently. And then we honestly, Sammy's time to win the championship was in 2023 when he was actually over and he had a character, he had a purpose. Sammy has no purpose. Sami Zayn has been you can't be an underdog for like 20 years and expect people to still care. Well, people who want things to make sense. You can't be an underdog and win the Intercontinental Championship. You can't be an underdog and then win it again. I don't know, man. I feel like just go ahead and get out the way and then have Drew go on his reign and carry on like he should be. I'm tired of this Sammy garbage. But yeah, that's how the show ended. But yeah, man, Shinsuke and AJ definitely carried. But let me know what you think about how Saturday Night's Main Event. Did you enjoy the show? Were you ready? Because that's what we do. Because what we do is what we do. When we do is what we do. How we do. Because what we do is what we do. And let me know what you think down in the comments below. Till next time.